Oh, excuse me.
So Night Elf not so bad, huh?
Night Elf not so bad. Starshaped made Night Elf look strong there. But one thing I do want to comment on that Starshaped did really well was doing the. It kind of feels like if you're playing Night Elf, you can never really fight human straight up. You really have to gain an advantage before you're able to fight them. And how you're able to gain that advantage is something that Starshaped did really, really well that last game. He gained that advantage by massing tier 1, making use of that keeper early on, making sure that that expand got up, and then after he had that, he still actually didn't even fight. Even after he had that economic advantage, he tried to do a main for Expo trade. Deathnote killed the expansion, TP'd back, and Starshaped still said, no thanks, I'm not going to fight you. He picked off a couple key units, ran back, threw the Expo back up, got more of an economic advantage, and then after he had 5/5 heroes, he finally said, okay, now I'm going to fight you. Let's see how this goes. And Starshaped was able to pull out the victory. So I still want to see the Mountain Giant strategy out of Starshaped. I'm hoping we see some Mountain Giants this game, but we'll see.
It feels like it's more like it's a strategy that probably would be very good on a map like we saw last because of the health fountains, right? If you get giants and you can like, especially Staff of Preservation, you get them out, you send them.
That's what. Sorry.
Oh, I forgot to update the score. Okay, can you pause at like 140?
Yep, paused.
Okay. So it will be.
Yeah, that's why I'm really surprised.
Okay, you ready?
Didn't see it. I'm ready. Go ahead.
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm really surprised that we didn't see it last game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if we see it this game. The thing is, what he did worked, so he might just try it again. This map kind of plays out very similar to Concealed Hill, with the exception of the life fountains. But the life fountains really didn't play a heavy role in the last game, so no one really used those, HP heavy units to heal. And even the creeps that, sometimes you can abuse those creep mechanics to get the flying red drake. They didn't really abuse those creep mechanics that much, so they kind of played it like in Amazonia. They played the Concealed Hill like in Amazonia, so we might see the same strategy again. Who knows?
I don't know if I would say this map plays similarly to the previous one, because on this map you can expand a lot more easily, technically, right? Than on the previous one.
You mean by building the tree on the other side of the trees and then eating through?
No, I'm talking about human.
Oh, human. Oh, you're right. You are right.
Yeah, we don't see that much expansions on... what's the name of the previous map? Concealed Hill?
Concealed Hill,
yeah. Whereas on Amazonia, it's a lot more common, like with the pull. And actually, as I say that, it looks like he's going to go for it.
And here it comes. And
so
Starshaped knows he has that wisp. Oh, and that's so close to getting a huge detonate. Let's see. Oh, and he is able to disrupt that pull. So that wisp accomplished what he wanted to accomplish.
Oh my god.
Massive detonate coming out, hitting all 3 water elementals and the Archmage.
So, by the way, not only expansion is more common on this map, but the expansion has an absurd amount of gold. Like, as we can see, there's 20k, even though in the main base there is like 10k left over right now, and you start at like, what, 12k or something?
Starshaped picked off that Mud Golem, by the way. That's something I never really take note of. Is
oh my god, look at the XP on the Keeper.
Oh my god, if he dings level 3 here, I expect to see level 2 Treants instantly picked. No, he goes for Entangle again. I feel like level 2 Treants there would have been so strong, it really just would have stopped him. So his goal here, since he dinged level 3, he's going to use all of those level 2 Entangles. He has 1 more left in his mana pool, and then after he uses that last Entangle, he's going to go back, get mana from his Moonwells, and rinse and repeat. So now the real question from Deathnote is, do you still try to throw out this expand after those heavy losses?
Get rich or die trying. 50 Cent said it, and it's very true for human in Warcraft 3. You need to expand. I think you have no choice. Even though there was an absolute genocide just took place here. 26 supply for Deathnote.
We are looking at the Keeper got pretty much a full level of experience off of that harass. Which is not what you expect to get. I know one of those kills was the little Mud Golem, but that Mud Golem is like level 1 or 2 or something. So it doesn't give that much experience. So the rest of that experience came from peasants and footmen.
So he's teching, yeah. And he needs level 3. I think Murlocs can give that to him. And Deathnote is like, this feels... Starshape has like the correct style to counter Deathnote really well.
And we see the exact same build as last time from Starshaped. So he's transitioning into tier 1 mass hunts. He's seeing Ancient Wonders being thrown up in his base so that he has access to his clarity potions. Starshaped is going to scout out Deathnote's base, and he's going to see that Deathnote is deciding to tech and not throw up that expand. In this situation, just because of how terribly that expand creep went, I think that's the right choice. I know 50 Cent would say otherwise, but it feels like if he were to throw up that expand against mass hunts, we would see about you know, a 10 or 11 minute game. And
I agree with you. Fuck 50, filed for bankruptcy anyway. What time do I need to attack? Oh my god, the hunt. He has a farm at the lab. He's gonna. Okay, he's got the greater healing. Could have dropped the circlet, I guess.
Even forcing out that greater healing, it just feels good. You don't really oh, and he used a reveal. He didn't see the hunt run away. Deathnote making a couple minor mistakes here. Nice deny there from Deathnote, denying that footman experience. And level 4 Keeper is a big level up. You know, sometimes that level 4 level up isn't as important for some heroes, but the level 4 Keeper does let you use the Treants and the Entangle at the same time. When you have a level 2 Entangle and a level 1 Treant, it kind of feels bad when you have to use your Treants. You know that spell isn't really as powerful, so you really want to reserve your mana for the level 2 Entangle rather than kind of wasting it for the level 1 Treants. So we see him doing just that. He's using all of his mana on Entangles, making sure that he secures those unit kills. But once he has access to that level 2 Treants, I expect to see both of those spells coming out.
Yeah, he's getting the Tree of Life here to go for the expansion. So I kind of like the transition out of Starshaped. Like, it's probably going to be similar to previous games, just lots of Dryads. You can go for a Panda. Ancient of War creeping is going to be very nice to, you know, get going with the creeping a little bit easier as well on this map.
Yeah, this game is progressing very similar to the last game. So I expect to see a Panda again too. I think Starshaped is saying if it's not broken, then don't fix it.
There goes his TP.
Big Entangle Surround coming out, and AM is going to be forced to TP there. He has a Red Footman scouting, so the Red Footman saw the AOW by the expand, but not much he can do about it.
I think he might have seen the Tree of Life.
Did he? It was very close. So the Footman was.
I think
he might have been a little bit too north, but he may have seen it. It was very, very close. Red Footman over at the shop. We see 3 riflemen. Basically, Deathnote's army consists of 3 riflemen right now, which kind of feels bad. Usually you still have about 2 or 3 footmen alive at this point. Starshaped did, just because of that harass on the expo, Deathnote has no footmen to speak of.
He's going straight into Dispel, by the way, before the first priest.
That's interesting. Usually you get your first priest out and then Dispel, right?
Yeah. Wants to make sure he has that as soon as possible. I think you can just pull that camp. And Starshaped going for Panda because he already has the Ancient of War set up at the expo. That's going to be straight into level 2. He even gets a footman actually over there on the way here. Yeah, this is very good for Starshaped. Like, to kickstart a Panda straight into level 2 like this.
And this is a really cool timing too. So creeping the Panda and harassing with the Keeper here. He's doing a really good job of spacing the Keeper far enough away that if he gets bolted, he's not going to be able to get surrounded. His goal here, he may or may not be able to get an Entangle off on one of the riflemen. He doesn't really care about that. He just wants to slow down humans creeping, which I think he did that well. It wasn't perfect, but I think he did it really, really well.
And greater healing for the Panda here. Very nice for Starshaped. First priest is about to come out. And with this expo already being crept, this is very awkward now for Deathnote. Where does he go and creep? I guess he has to go top left.
Yeah, top left Merc camp, and he's going to hope for... I don't even know what item he's going to hope for here. Maybe Devotion Aura? The Stormwind? Let's see what he gets. Rune Bracers, that feels bad, man. He's going to sell that almost guaranteed.
Always get it versus Night Elf, never get it against Undead.
And one thing about this map is the creep pattern is extremely predictable.
When you get creepjacked here, by the way, I think you should buy Mercs. Just get the Troll Berserker and the Ogre.
Yep. And I think Starshaped realizes that Deathnote can do that, and that's why he's not taking the fight. Even though that was a Jack, it's very hard to fight that because you can get that instant burst of DPS on your army by hiring those mercs, and the fight is just really hard to take. The Troll Berserker does a great job of countering those hunts.
Deathnote just scanned the expo at the bottom, so he knows that it's up and running, and that Starshaped is trying to buy time.
Yeah, so he's playing Ring Around the Rosie. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another Zeppelin coming out from the laboratory. Oh, there's an AFK Rifleman. So we're gonna see a trade. One Huntress falls, one Rifleman falls, but that actually feels good for Starshaped. It's trading a Rifleman for a Hunt. The Rifleman they're about the same cost. They're a very similar unit, but Rifleman just feels stronger. So if you're Starshaped, I think you happily take that trade.
Forces are under attack.
Look at this. Deathnote is starting a bunch of towers at home. He's getting ready for the counter attack.
I love that. So he's learning from the last game. He knows that expand went up. My guess is that Starshaped is going to try and force a fight at that expand. Starshaped is going to position his army. They'll probably do something very similar to last game where they trade the main for the expand.
But I don't think he will. I don't think Starshaped will go for the main this time. I think he'll just try to defend the expo.
Did he break 50 food yet? Where is he at?
Yeah,
oh yeah, so he did. Yeah, so he's at 62.
And he already has spent at 3. Like he just can get a mana potion now.
Yeah. So in this matchup, when you have your expand up, the question is always, when do you break that 50 food? And it's usually when you break that 50 food is when you're ready to take the fight. So breaking into that 62 food, you're basically saying, okay, I'm ready. Let's see what we can do with this army now.
That's
Deathnote
actually creeping. That's a great move, I think. He's gonna get level 3. Warsong Battle Drums.
Oh, huge item. Huge item. 10% damage to everything. The Riflemen already have got that massive damage buff, and just 10% on top of that.
Not quite the Jago, but... the Jagoff.
The Jagoff. Do you know what Jagoff means?
Yeah, I think so.
It's Jagoff. So I'm from. All right, hang on. We'll talk about Jagoff after this. So Jagoff is a local word in the city that I grew up in. It's like but anyway. Okay, so we see. So Starshaped did go for the main there as Deathnote was hitting the expo, but saw those 2 towers and said, "Screw this! I have a big army. I'm going to TP back and try and save
He has
my
clap level 2, by the way.
Clap level 2, and no invul potion. I think no invul potion on the MK is kind of a big mistake. And
oh no, he has Stumble level 2.
Down.
Yeah, he has Stumble level 2, my bad.
Holy hell, that KOTG went down so fast. And we do see invul passed from the AM onto the MK. MK is able to do this. Militia coming in to help fortify this army. Those rifles are just pumping out damage on these Huntresses. Watch how quickly those Huntresses go from 100% life to 0 life. Whenever these rifles turn and focus them. Surprise! No more.
Is gonna die. Oh my god, he has invuln.
So even with a 15 food advantage, that was just a massive stomp from the human army.
Yeah, but that was the worst TP of all time as well.
That was a terrible TP.
He should have.
He really should have TP'd to the left of the AOW there, and instead he TP'd to the right.
Oh, that's a mistake. He's trying to dive the MK against this many priests. He should have just pulled back, regrouped. Wait for Keeper to be out again, but yeah, this is absolutely game over. Starshaped food is showing at 50 food, but a lot of that food is just in production right now. So there's 5 in production at the altar. There's 9 in production at the building. So while it's showing. Okay, so what does Jagoff mean for you?
So Jagoff. So there's 2 different things. There's have you ever heard the word Jagger bush? Do you know what a Jagger bush is?
No.
Okay, so a Jagger bush is basically a rose bush. It's like any bush with thorns.
Where are you going with this?
Okay, so anyway, so a thorny bush is something that's like really annoying, right? A thorny bush, it's like you get pricked by it and it sucks. You hate it. Anyway, so a Jagoff is like the human, like a prick. Yeah. A prick. A Jagoff is like a human equivalent of a Jagger bush. A Jagoff is like someone who's just an asshole, essentially.
I think my definition of Jagoff and my definition of prick might be very different than yours, but...
Wait, so what do you think a Jagoff is?
I don't want to do toss, so...
Oh, okay. But anyway, I'm from Pittsburgh, and
And you guys are weird.
In Pittsburgh, the word jagoff has a very specific meaning.
Okay.
Anyway.
Hey, you can click the Norcam bottom right, by the way. Not that it matters, like this is pretty much over, I think.
Yeah, this is and Deathnote is doing the alpha expand, the alpha dominance expanding in
the ENA expand.
Yeah, the ENA expand and expanding in Starshape's main, throwing up towers. He knows that he's in a pretty dominant position. Notice he did get the two rifle upgrades this game, so you should be happy about that. I also find it very surprising when humans, especially, don't get the tier 1 damage upgrade for those rifles. It's such a good upgrade. It's so strong.
You side, merci pour le host.
Hey, side. Bonjour, mon ami. Comment ça va? My French is so good.
Damn, this is frustrating for Starshaped. He sees his expo being taken right before him. To be fair, he could just take the expo at Deathnote. Now try to take a fight. We have a single healing scroll available. But this time he does have clap 2.
Yeah, and 1 healing scroll isn't going to be enough to counter that clap 2. Some very quick dispels coming out on the water elemental. He's focusing down that MK, trying to back him up, but it's not going to be enough to kill him. MK sitting with 1,000 HP, just is running back into that priest line.
The debate.
It's
debating
he's
him.
just running through the army of machine gunners.
Oh, he didn't stumble one last time.
Tearing the army apart, and the MK does fall. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised the MK fell there.
I'm pretty sure he could have stumbled it. I don't know what he was waiting for. And that's it.